century-year-old home.
And we've got ourselves a hot day building up out there and the humidity on the rise too. We're going to talk about that and some scattered storm chances coming up.
And a boost for President Biden as the NATO summit begins in Europe, with how a U-turn from Turkey could make Sweden NATO's newest member.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Demolition is underway on what many call a Webb City landmark to make way for a new Popeyes restaurant. This is KOAM News at Noon. I'm Tanya Bach. Topping our first 7 minutes, the end of Webb City's White House. Built in 1908, the iconic house on South Madison Street once belonged to the then mayor, George Washington Moore. Now, the last owner, a woman named Connie Sweet. She lived there for more than half a century and raised her children there. According to the family, the house has been on the market for 11 years. The city of Webb City says while it has years of memories, the house is not on any list of historic registers.
Sad. I sat out here when they started it the other morning. I brought my lawn chair out and watched, and it's just was an emotional thing.
It's sad, but it's just the cost of keeping it up has just gotten so out of hand. I know towards the end it was just hard to make the utility payments.
Demolition process started last Wednesday when the pool was broken into pieces. The crews are now taking down the garage. The entire house should be gone by the end of the week. Now, Popeyes construction is scheduled to start August 1st, and the fast food restaurant should be open by the end of the year. To honor the history of the house, the new Popeyes location is planning a historical wall and will incorporate columns and pictures of the house. Well, in Mulberry, Kansas, family's 2 horses are killed in a trailer fire near Oklahoma City. Authorities say the trailer was fully engulfed when firefighters arrived. The OHP says a pickup hauling the trailer caught fire, eventually spreading to the 5th-wheel trailer. Now, the family was heading from the National Little Britches Rodeo Finals to the International Finals Youth Rodeo. Well, the heat is on, and it doesn't seem to be stopping anytime soon. Chris Warner joins us with a first look at the forecast.
Yeah, that's right. It is getting ready to be hot outside. It's already getting pretty muggy, and it's going to get hotter yet. Taking a live look at the MoDOT camera, 32nd and Range line, looking back to the south. We are starting to see the sun come out, and that's going to allow our temperatures to begin to climb after we were locked in under cloud cover all morning long. KDOT camera, 69 and East 520th Avenue, also showing some of that sunshine starting to come out. A Skywatch Storm Tracker wanted to show you. You can see where some of the lingering clouds are from that activity in Oklahoma, but you can see where we are starting to clear out there. And this just came down. This kicks in tomorrow at noon. This is a heat advisory for some of us in southeast Kansas. That'll be from noon to 9 p.m. tomorrow. And that's for those heat index values going 105, possibly upwards of 110. We started yesterday. Remember, yesterday was pretty darn chilly, 10 degrees off the average, 59. Despite starting so cold, we still warmed up, made it up to 92. And as we look at temperatures around the area now, where we're starting to see the clearing, look at this, 89, Yates Center, Chanute, 85, Neodesha, Parsons, 84 in Pittsburgh. Those of us still with some cloud cover, a little cooler, 84 Joplin, 81 Monette and Neosho. But all of us are going to start to get in on this heat as we go through the rest of the afternoon. Heat and humidity are climbing this week. Temperatures pushing 100 degrees starting tomorrow. Could start seeing some isolated scattered storms today and into tomorrow and into Thursday. We'll talk about that. And that's with those storm chances picking up tomorrow night. We'll have more on your full forecast, including those storm chances, here in just a few more minutes. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. New England continues to get overwhelmed by intense floods. Emergency crews in Vermont conducted more than 50 rescues. Here you can see debris from a house washed away by floodwaters in Jamaica, Vermont, as torrential downpours unleashed flash floods across the Northeast. Several communities in Vermont are almost completely cut off by water. More than 13 million Americans are under flood watches and warnings, and officials warn unprecedented amounts of water could be released by local dams. Well, Senate lawmakers are expected to grill executives from the PGA about the Golf Tour's controversial partnership with Saudi-backed Live Golf. Now, the surprise merger last month ended a bitter year-long battle marked by lawsuits, competing tournaments, and the poaching of star players. But relatives of 9/11 victims are slamming the deal, saying the company is backed by financiers from Saudi Arabia, a nation linked to the terrorist attacks. PGA says its new Saudi partners would not have control over the game or its operations. It hopes to arrange meetings as early as next week with the 9/11 victims' families. President Biden is overseas in Lithuania for the NATO summit, which kicks off today. It begins with a potential breakthrough for the alliance as Sweden is now on the verge of becoming its newest member. CBS's Tina Kraus has the latest.
President Biden began the day at the presidential palace in Vilnius, meeting with Lithuania's president ahead of the NATO summit.
Thank you.
World leaders head into the conference with new momentum after Turkey dropped its objection to Sweden joining NATO.
Completing Sweden's accession to NATO is an historic step that benefits the security of all NATO allies.
But NATO's 31 nations are divided on how far to go on letting Ukraine join their ranks. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says Ukraine deserves to be part of the military alliance. And NATO Secretary General expects allies will reveal a clear path toward their future membership.
The message will be positive, the message will be strong, the message will be united.
But President Biden says the war needs to end first, or other countries risk being pulled into the conflict. The president and Zelensky will meet one-on-one at the summit tomorrow. President Biden is still taking heat for his decision to provide Ukraine with cluster bombs, which are outlawed by many of America's closest allies. The president called it a choice between supplying the weapons or leaving Ukraine defenseless. The summit is expected to produce promises of more weapons and ammunition to bolster Kyiv's quest for victory. Tina Kraus, CBS News.
The NATO summit runs through tomorrow. President Biden will then travel to Helsinki to celebrate Finland's recent entry into NATO as its 31st member. That's a look at today's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Up next on KOAM News at Noon, after years of COVID delays, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 is finally hitting theaters. We take you inside the star-studded premiere. And later, we're making a frozen margarita pie in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 is expected to be the biggest blockbuster movie of the summer. The stars of the action-adventure spy thriller walked the red carpet in New York last night. Jared Hill has more.
Tom Cruise thrilled fans on the red carpet Monday night ahead of the U.S. premiere of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1.
What they can expect is an epic adventure, a big cinematic experience, incredible visuals, sound, characters, an amazing cast.
And if you ask the fans...
The stunts, Tom's stunts.
And there are a ton of years in the planning, heart-pounding, death-defying stunts.
Looks like we lost them.
Cruise and co-star Haley Atwell speeding through Rome while handcuffed. A fight between super spy Ethan Hunt and his arch nemesis atop a speeding train. And Hunt driving his motorcycle off a 4,000-foot cliff.
Thinking about, the adventure of doing something like that and trying to find a way, not only just the stunt, but how do we film it? How do we delight an audience and put them right on the edge of your seat?
A feeling the cast share.
Are you alive? Every time he would do a take, it's like, are you alive?
Beyond the stunts, there's the story. Hunt and his team's mission is to track down and stop a terrifying new weapon, AI, before it gets into the wrong hands and destroys humanity.
It's been a long time, fam.
Isai Morales stars as the franchise's newest villain, Gabriel.
It's a way for me to exercise my own, bad guy.
Atwell plays Grace, Ethan's partner and possible love interest.
She's consistently inconsistent. She's playful, she's mischievous, but never calculating.
Cruise says he's given it his all for the fans.
It's a privilege to entertain them. I'm a fan of movies first and foremost, and I want people to have a great time in movies.
Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 slams into theaters on Wednesday. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
Well, there's so much action and adventure in this story that it couldn't all fit into one movie. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 2 is expected next summer. And you can watch all 6 of the previous Mission Impossible movies on Paramount+. Still to come on the KOAM News at Noon, Mr. Food.
Grab your flip-flops, a beach towel, and your appetite, because we're going to show you how to whip up a frozen dessert that's summertime perfect.
But first, we're tracking some dangerous heat moving into the area and some scattered thunderstorm chances. We'll look at that full forecast when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM News at noon. So now that the clouds from the storms in Oklahoma this morning are beginning to clear out, we're getting the sunshine and we're starting to heat up across the area. We also have ourselves some scattered thunderstorm chances. Now, there's still the remote possibility that we could see a pop-up storm or two between now and say maybe 6, 7 this evening. But I think overall, that chance is relatively low, but it's not zero, so we could see a stray shower or two. Our best chances for rain are going to come as we head into late Wednesday, early Thursday across the area. So let's head into tomorrow morning. We're going to start off pretty mild, and we're going to get dangerously hot tomorrow. We're talking temperatures lower 100s. We're talking also, take a look, plentiful sunshine out there as well, and therefore it's going to be hot, muggy, humid. All of those things we don't like about summer is exactly what tomorrow is going to be. However, as we head into the evening, we'll start to see maybe a stray shower or two. We're looking at maybe one complex of storms late tomorrow night that's going to roll through, and then we'll see another batch overnight that will begin to roll through the area. And you can see points from Nevada to Stockton, northeast of Lamar, are going to be in line for a few more rounds of storms, but we are looking at these thunderstorms, and the thing is even though they're going to be scattered, as you saw, there is that risk that some of them could be strong, possibly severe. So at least at this point, we still have this elevated risk for right where you saw those thunderstorm chances on the future track, and we do have a low-end risk right outside of that. So that's something we'll keep an eye on. Then we'll have another round of showers and thunderstorms Thursday evening and into the nighttime hours, and we do have a low-end risk for some strong storms with that activity as well. There's an eyelash, and there it goes. I finally got it. All right, MoDOT camera, 30-second and range line. We're looking good. You can see the sun starting to come out there, and that means temperatures are rising. Here's what it looks like from our camera here at the KOAM studios north of Crestline. We're starting to see the breakup in the cloud activity out there, and from 7th and range line, looking back toward the northwest, you can see plentiful sunshine out there, and we're starting to heat up. We're at 84, dew points already up to 70 now. Humidity 63%. That's making it feel like 88. We head over to Pittsburgh, and it's starting to heat up there as well. Sunshine on the KDOT camera here, 84 degrees. Humidity not as high, but that dew point approaching 70, giving us a heat index of 86 degrees out there, and it's going to get even hotter tomorrow. Temperatures where we showed you where the clouds have cleared out to the west, already getting pretty hot. 89, Yates Center, Chanute, 85, Neoda, Shea Parsons, Chatopa, 84, Miami, Carthage, 85, Lamar. And then you go where the clouds are still hanging out, Neosho, Monette, still in the low 80s, but you're going to warm up today as well. Because of the extended cloud cover, we've toned the highs back a couple of degrees to about 94. Still have those pop-up thunderstorm chances later this afternoon. And then as we head into tonight, we got a great evening. It's going to be warm, don't get me wrong, but we got clear skies overnight tonight. Lows dropping back into the mid-70s. Now, we do have an alert day for tomorrow for that heat. And we're talking, look at this, highs lower 100s, and we're talking heat index values tomorrow anywhere from 105 to 110, potentially a little higher out west where you're going to see a little more of this heat. Thursday, not much relief. Looking at highs right around 99 degrees for Thursday. Heat index values again upwards of 105 degrees. 94 Friday, additional thunderstorm chances. And then by the weekend, if you can believe this, we cool down into the upper 80s. And then we'll see additional scattered storm chances Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. However, temperatures as we head through next week will also begin to rise. They'll start climbing back through the low to mid 90s. So we'll get a brief break from the heat this weekend, and then it's going to turn around and heat right back up. But tomorrow for sure, dangerous heat out there with those heat index values and those temperatures and that abundant sunshine. You need to be taking precautions, staying hydrated, staying out of the sun if you can.
You know, we're alerting people about tomorrow, but even with the heat index today, it's
still
hot out there.
It's still unpleasant, and those out west that are warming up quickly could already see some of those heat index values up to close to 100 today.
All right, well, be on a lookout, drink lots of water.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, stick around. We're making a frozen margarita pie after the break. Want to go to the beach without leaving the comfort of your own backyard? Well, Howard shifts us into vacation mode with today's frozen strawberry margarita pie in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
If you've been on a cruise or to a tropical resort, then you've probably had your fair share of frozen margaritas. There's something about the combination of this frosty drink featuring the tangy lime and the salted rim that puts us in vacation mode.
Thank you.
Well, today we're making a strawberry version of this in the form of a pie. We start with the crust, which we make from crushed pretzels mixed with a bit of butter. This gets pressed into a pie plate and chilled until we're ready to fill it. As for the filling, all that is a can of sweetened condensed milk combined with frozen margarita mix concentrate and a few drops of red food coloring. After that's mixed, we add some whipped topping and a cup or so of sliced fresh strawberries. We give this a mix and spoon it into our crust, which is going to give our pie a touch of saltiness, just like a margarita. Then into the freezer it goes. Once it sets up, it's ready to serve. Maybe finish it with a few dollops of whipped cream and more berries. Then it's time to dig in. To get the recipe for this cool and tangy treat, all you have to do is visit our website and look for frozen margarita pie. It's that easy. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a tempting tropical way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
I'm going to have to try that one. That looks delicious. And you can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Here's a look at our 4 state market prices.
Could see some pop-up storms as we head through the afternoon. Otherwise, clearing skies, getting hot, mid-90s. Alert day tomorrow for highs in the lower 100s. Heat index values tomorrow, 105 to 110. Please make sure you're taking precautions. 99 Thursday, so not much improvement. Maybe some strong storms Wednesday night into Thursday morning, and maybe some strong storms Thursday night into Friday morning, and then additional storms Friday night into Saturday, and cooler by the weekend into the upper 80s.
I like that word, cooler.
A little bit.
All right, well, coming up tonight at 5, millions of families treat ADHD with medication, but worry about the longer-term risks for substance use. And Health Watch, why a new study may provide useful results. Plus, many area schools are back in session next month as school officials look to fill empty positions and meet the Joplin Police Department's newest K-9 officers. Join us for those stories and much more tonight on the KOAM News at 5.
Thank you so much for joining us for the KOAM News at noon.
And the rest of the team, we'll see you right back here at 5 o'clock.